Greetings and welcome to Sunlight Refuge, where the name of the game is motivation, inspiration, and growth. Hi everyone, my name is Tracey, and if you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So, have you ever been so proud of yourself for something that you have achieved or accomplished, right? Until someone comes in with their bigger and better news, and then you find yourself feeling that your accomplishment is no longer valid or able to compare or even compete with that other person's news. Now you feel like your accomplishment isn't good enough, or even you're not good enough. So that's what we're going to dive into today, the psychology of that, right? The why. And offer you guidance on how you can see others shine without dimming your light. So, first, you must understand that there will always be people in front of you, right? Who are doing big things, right? And there are going to be people behind you who's trying to catch up to what you got going on. And then there's going to be people alongside of you who are operating under the same, under the same place under the sun, right? The goal is to see yourself no matter what level someone else is at, right? Easy enough? Because we live in a noisy world, a world full of the fakers and the posers, a world full of advanced and highly skilled people, right? Did you know that the world is made up of two types of people? Do you know who they are? There are people who take on the alpha role, right? And then there are people who take on the beta role. But what if I told you that there's also a third type of energy that also operates within this world? And to help yourself live authentically, free from the fuel of comparisons and external validation, you must tap into that third energy, right? So before we get into that, do me a solid and like, share, and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. And if you're new, join the tribe, right? There's no gimmicks here. We're just like minded people focusing on exalting God and helping humanity, right? Because that's what it's all about. Okay, so let's get into it, right? So the world tells us, the word tells us that it is unwise to measure yourself to others. And why is that, right? Because when you measure yourselves to others, first it's going to be, it can cause jealousy, and then it can also cause discouragement, right? It's going to cause some type of negative energy, negative feeling when you compare yourself and you measure yourself to another one. So God said, don't even do that. What you got is what you got. What they got is what they got. And it's not for you to boast with what you have, and it's not for you to feel lesser than when you don't have what somebody else have, right? We all got our own, we're all doing our own thing, right? So we don't want it to go into jealousy or discouragement. Comparing yourself can diminish your uniqueness, right? We all come here in our special little package and our own little, in our own little uniqueness, in our own little purpose, in our own little way, because each and every one of us makes up this world, right? And we got to tap into who God wanted us to be and the energy that He wanted us to exude into this world, right? So you don't want it to lead to inferiority or superiority, right? These are tongue twisters for me. Y'all know what I'm saying. Inferior or superior, right? Um, but yeah, so that's what it comes down to. You gotta always remember who you are, You know what I'm saying? That way you can operate in any type of setting and not get overly or, or less than, right? So somebody say, stay in my lane. Stay in my lane. Stay in my lane. I got to stay in my lane. You got to stay in your lane, right? You got to do what you are doing. You got to focus on what you are doing. You can't be in nobody else's lane. That's what they got going on. That's what they got going on. And what you got going on is what you got going on, right? It's okay to aspire, you know what I'm saying, and want to achieve things that other people are achieving. That's okay. But you got your own path. You got your own lane, right? And you got to stay in your own lane so you don't listen to all the noise, you know what I'm saying? And bring on this negativity within yourself and diminish what you have, accomplished, is accomplishing, wanting to accomplish, what you got going on. So, how do we do that, right? By holding on to your journey, right? By honoring your journey, by honoring your own path, right? We all have one. So let's talk about that third type of person, that third energy in the world. It's called the Sigma, right? And the Sigma, what's important about these people is they follow their own path. I don't need to dominate you. I don't need to be feeling inferior. You know what I'm saying? I just need to do me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you truly value your authenticity, right? Living in an authentic world, not trying to pretend, not trying to be like, not trying to measure up, just carving out your own lane. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you find people who do things and they don't even know why they're doing it. They just trying to follow society. You know what I'm saying? You ever sit back and watch people and you can tell the ones who take on the alpha role, and then you got the ones who aren't really confident in themselves and they take on that beta role. Alphas love betas. Alphas love to dominate and just, you know what I'm saying, try to pretend like, or overshadow you, and you ain't nothing without them, and you never gonna measure up to them, and you know what I'm saying, influence, impact all of that, you know what I'm saying, into it. And if you're not sure of yourself, then you fall, you know what I'm saying, you can fall into the worshiping them, or you know what I'm saying, just being their flunky, you know what I mean. And so it's kind of like the Sigmas, they don't fall in any of those roles. They don't want to control nobody, they don't want to dominate nobody, they don't want to make nobody feel bad. They just want to do them. I just want to be me. I just want to be me. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make God proud. And you can kind of see these people because it's the ones where it's like they not always, you know, in the crowds. They not always, you know what I'm saying, the loudest ones. They're not always at all the places, and you know what I'm saying. They just chilling doing their own thing. You know what I mean? And that's what you got to do. You got to live authentically. You got to create your own lane. Society says, does it, do it this way. But then you got to be able to say, oh, I'm going to do it this way. Not to say that you can't pick and choose and get things, you know what I'm saying? But you are who you are. Authentically you. Beautifully and wonderfully made. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be nobody's flunky. And you don't need to be dominating people, putting other people down, making them feel inferior to you. That shouldn't that's not godly. You know what I'm saying? Your confidence should come from your spirituality, which comes from your connection with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? People who have that Sigma type energy, like they're not into all of that. They're not into that. They're not trying to make people feel bad. They're not trying to single people out. They're not trying to embarrass people. And you know what I'm saying? And like I'm just trying to live my life, man. I'm just trying to live my life and do the best that I can and make God proud. Because it's about exalting God and helping humanity, right? So these are the energies that you will see from these type of people, and that's what you have to live in, that within your own lane, right? So a Sigma's mantra would be, I do not desire to rule or follow. I live aligned to who I am. And you just be authentic to who you are and where you going and what you doing. You know what I'm saying? How you can spread love and how you can spread joy and how you can spread wisdom and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. That way, when somebody comes with their news, and maybe it is more grander than yours. Maybe you got one building and they got 105. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you got a $5,000 bonus and they got a $200,000 bonus, whatever it is, right? You can still be proud of you and what you obtained, as well as celebrating them and being happy for what they have obtained. You know what I'm saying? That's the energy. You know, and don't diminish what you got going on. Don't be running around here letting people use you and, you know what I'm saying, make fun of you and, you know, and just undercutting you and lowballing you and, you know what I'm saying? Just, I don't like that type of energy. When I see that in people, I be like, these ain't my people. This ain't part of my tribe. I ain't in that tribe. You know what I'm saying? And I always do my best to, like, if you're kind, if you're nice, cool. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the criteria for the most part. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to do something with your life and, you know what I'm saying, and you trying to be more spiritual and get your connection with the Most High and things of that nature, like, I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? And I also love the people who I see are the, you know what I'm saying, the alpha ones and the beta ones and just any other little, you know what I'm saying, archetypes that may not have been defined. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, for me, it's, you know, I try to look at people as these are God's creations, right? It's not for me to judge them, but it don't mean that I gotta be running with them. You know what I'm saying? But it's not for me to judge. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I just live in my own little light, do my own little thing, and the people that I come in contact with, you know what I'm saying? We just have a good time, you know? And I think that's what it's all about. It don't have to be about status. And that's the thing too, it's not about status. You can have more money than me, you can have less money than me, you can have more assets than me, you can have less assets than me. Like, that's not the criteria. It's what's in your heart. Is your heart good? You know what I'm saying? Where you going? Because we all got battles, right? But are you a good person? That's the criteria. So, three principles that you can use to protect yourself in this world, in today's society, right? They will have you feeling all kind of ways if you don't protect your vehicle, right? And one of the ways is you got to protect your peace at all costs. I say that all the time. Your peace is non-negotiable. Say it with me. My peace is non-negotiable. My peace is non-negotiable. My peace is non-negotiable. Right? Remember, my peace is non-negotiable. My peace is non-negotiable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't gamble with that. You know what I'm saying? We don't mess with that. So let your peace be non-negotiable. Because, and how you do that is that you just got to limit your access. You can't be all things to all people, all places, at all times. Like, no. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be involved with toxicity. You can't be involved with people who don't want to go nowhere. You can't be involved in these type of things. because your peace is non-negotiable, right? Another one is true success is measured in inner freedom, not outer noise, right? So what does that mean? Your sense of worth is based on achieving your personal goals and becoming the best version of you by your own standards, right? Don't let nobody define what your success is. Don't let nobody define what your purpose is. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody define your self-worth. Now, see, a lot of this stuff I get from movies. I don't really have nobody like in my life that's telling me my self worth, right? Because you're gonna get shut down anyway. But when I see, I watch movies and things of that nature, and people just like you never gonna find nobody better than me, and you ain't never gonna be nothing. Like, who are you? You're not God. Like, how you gonna tell me that? And then the other person just be like, I know, I know. And then sometimes they apologize. I mean, I know it's a script, but hey, that stuff come from somewhere, right? And I just be feeling so bad. I be like, no, I be fussing at the TV. Me, I'm a fusser. Like, I'm not just gonna watch it and just. I be like, boy, bye, whatever. Well, somebody would tell me I ain't worth nothing. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But which goes into the next one. You gotta live a life true to your own internal purpose, right? Because your confidence and your sense of value must come from an internal source, not the approval of others, right? Don't worry about what they got going on. Don't worry about what they say. People can say whatever they want to say. People are going to say whatever they want to say. But it's about allowing it to penetrate or not, right? Sometimes you hear people say stuff just because you got ears. But it's not for you to internalize that. You know what I'm saying? So, so the next time that little voice inside of you, or like that little voice inside of you tries to tell you that you're not good enough, or whatever it's trying to convince you of, right? Or when that person comes around and just trying to sneak dish you and make you feel like you ain't got nothing. I got it going on, and if you got it going on, you can't help nobody. You really ain't got it going on. You know what I'm saying? Because your success is not supposed to be. It's supposed to be, something that you can share with others and help others to achieve, success as well, or you know what I'm saying, giving out the information. But I find that if you people with who still needs to work on their heart and their gratitude, right? They will get their blessing, you know, and start acting all stanky and funky and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or acting like they're superior, or you know what I'm saying? Just now, And I feel like that's the quickest way to get your blessing taken away. To me, I always hold my standards to what God be proud of me for doing this, right? And I know I got things I got to work on. You know what I'm saying? I do my best not to use profanity in my videos and things like that, but I use profanity. You know what I'm saying? And I still, you know what I'm saying? I still got things I gotta work on. I still yell, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to be more zen, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to say it, but it comes with practice. You know what I'm saying? I have to like take a step back, and what I do is I have to put in a good habit to replace the bad habit. So before I get to yelling, I just what? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is, And so we're all still being worked on. Nobody perfect, whatever, right? But you know what I'm saying? When God blesses you, it's not for you to stun on people. You know what I'm saying? It's not for you to become selfish. Not all of a sudden, oh, they ain't never did nothing for me. I had to do this all on my own. And no, you didn't. That's just what you telling yourself to justify the negative behavior, right? So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And easily you can get your favor taken off of you. I don't want my favor taken off of me, so I don't treat people like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my little tangent or whatever. So when somebody, that voice inside of you try to convince you that you're not good enough, or you know what I'm saying, somebody come in and try to make you feel like you're supposed to be inferior to them, and they just shining on you and stunting on you and just trying to, you know what I'm saying, throw it all in your face and make you feel like you ain't doing nothing with your life, or whatever the case may be. I want you to say this, right? I want you to tell them, I'm not playing these games. Right? That's what I want you to say. So I'm not playing these games. You know what I'm saying? I'm building my own, and I'm staying in my lane. I'm not playing these games. You can say it to yourself, I'm not playing these games. Let me get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So I hope you found value in today's episode. And till the next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day.